adventures in Out of the Abyss. Last we left off, we had opened a door in this underground tavern of some sort, and we discovered skeletons. We decided to close the door. Why deal with these skeletons? Instead, we made our way back to our companions, and we headed through the tunnels. And after 3 days, we reached Gracklestugh. When we got to the city gate, we were surrounded and flanked by Duergar guards. Luckily, I was able to convince the guards to allow 5 of us that they believed were most influential among our group in. We met with Warlock, who deals with information, and he wanted us to deal with some sort of a giant folk that he felt was his nemesis. He had me agree to take his club and make it magical. He also informed us that the child dragon's name is Thumbershold. And he showed us the hold of the Deep King, an entrance to the king's quarters. He informed us that the Darrow have recently tried to rebel against the Duergar and has created a civil war. As such, there is a border check between the northern part of the city and the southern part. As we entered into the southern part of the city, Mincat was able to observe that there was a code, 5 knocks on the left to enter the Dark Lake district. The streets in this district were crowded with people, and there's some sort of heat emanating from it, a very strong and powerful heat. As we ventured forth, we started to observe the merchants. They were acting very strangely. This is not the way of Duergar. This is not how Duergar merchants act. As we began to discuss and question these folk, they informed us that a madness was inflicting the people. There was a very large eruption near the lake that caused it. And then it appeared that the Duergar city of Gracklestugh had been visited by the Demogorgon. That could explain the madness. Yiva, a Duergar merchant, informed us that a cult is looking after the dragon. She also told us that we could find this cult at the Shattered Spire. The spire was originally in the southern part of the city, but had been moved towards the lake in the northern part, probably as a result of these people going mad after having seen the Demogorgon. As we got to the Shattered Spire, and I may remind you that I may inform you that Varn had disguised himself as Warlock, as to not allow the people to be suspicious of our movements. But when we got to the Shattered Spire, there were no cults. Instead, there was a tavern close by, and Varn had me act as a cultist apprentice, or initiative, actually, not an apprentice, an initiative. As he continued to disguise himself, he entered the tavern. The barkeep there informed us in this very empty tavern that Thumbershold's avatar visits once a month and strengthens the cult. There was a quest for non-initiatives to go break up a fight at the docks for 500 gold pieces. But for initiatives of the cult, we were told to speak with the interrogator captain for more quests. He also informed us of where to find Thumbershold's cavern. As we went back towards the cavern, which was in the southern part of the city, we came to the gate. Luckily, we remembered the code, and we knocked 5 times at the door and entered. As we got to the cavern of Thumbersholt, we discovered that the name of the cultists were the Keepers of the Flame. Varn, still disguised as the Warlock, convinced the guards to allow us in. There we discovered that Thumbersholt is much overweight. In fact, he is now an adult gold dragon. He convinced the cultists to leave, and the dragon believes itself to be in charge of the lands. I informed the dragon of my conversation with its father. The dragon believes that he can take on his father, and I was appalled. That is not the way of Duergar. We respect our elders. And he informed us that he looks at the Demogorgon as benevolent. For his powers, this cultist arose as the Demogorgon was seeing. Therefore, he is benefited by being looked upon as a god by these cults. And he believes that this is a result of the Demogorgon bestowing power upon it. We convinced, or at least made them Thumbersholt. That was his name, Thumbersholt, that's right. We made him at least aware that the Demogorgon can give these powers. Perhaps it can take them away. As such, Thumbersholt became confused. Before he agreed to let me talk with the king of the Duergar city and allow this Thumbersholt free so that his father will not attack the city, he wanted us to do him a favor. Let us hear this favor, I said. He wanted us to retrieve his goblet, stolen by the grey ghosts whose leader is named Droki, who we had, I believe, met. I'm not sure if Varn had met, but he found a paper saying Droki from the Drake. And as we decided to discuss this further, we were informed by Thumbersholt that the Darrow worship the dragon. The Duergar on the surface do not worship the dragon, but secretly some do. And those that do are the guards. And so we were able to convince Thumbersholt to allow us, to give us some sort of a mark that would allow us to travel freely, so these guards would not question us. Thumbersholt gave us a dragon mark. This was painful. For some reason, I decided to put it on my thigh. What reason did I come up with? I cannot remember. But it was painful. I don't know why someone would want a dragon mark, but now I have this dragon mark on my thigh. What will the Duergar think if they see it? And now I have to lift my armor and show them my dragon mark when we're trying to come back to Thumbersholt. I should have thought about that a little bit more. Alas, what a day it has been. We will hopefully find out more, and maybe we will help defend this city. I am so worried about this Demogorgon. Why is this Demogorgon here? I do not think the city understands what they've gotten themselves into. Hopefully the king will help us, and we will set this dragon free, so there's one less thing to worry about. But I do miss being in a Duergar city. Join us next time, my friends, to discover what will happen and what fights will there be. Will I use my warhammer again? Let us see. Until then, take care, my friends.